Beans and cornbread, beans and cornbread, beans and cornbread. Beans and cornbread had a fight. Beans knocked cornbread out of sight. Cornbread said,
hi, welcome to another edition of Cooking with Walker. Today we're going to make Cuban black beans, Instant Pot Cuban black beans. So you'll need a pressure cooker like this. I call mine Pressy. You should always give a name to your pressure cooker. It does a lot of good work for you. So we're making Cuban black beans. This is a dish I like to make for my cross-country runners, although I don't always put all these ingredients. But it's a meal I make before their meets, so they have something that's easily digestible to give them some energy for the race. Also, it's really good to eat a lot of black beans before a good fartlek workout. So if you're playing cross-country bingo at home, you can mark a square off right there. All right, so here's what you'll need to make Cuban black beans in the Instapot. You'll need, I'm using 2 pounds of black beans today. Normally I would use just a pound. That makes about 8 to 10 servings. I'm going to make a whole bunch, probably freeze most of it. You'll need some bell peppers. I have 4, green and red. I have 4 jalapeno peppers. I've already kind of cut them up. 20 cloves of garlic and 2 yellow onions. So I've already prepped some of this, but I'm going to cut up a little bit of it here in a second. And then here's the other ingredients we need. We need some olive oil, some oregano, cumin, cinnamon. We're going to need this chicken broth. We're going to use 7 cups of this chicken broth, and then about 4 bay leaves. And before we get too much further into this, let's go ahead and sanitize my hands. And I'm going to use this sanitizer that just happens to look like the same sanitizer they gave us to use in my classroom. All right, so now we're nice and clean. We also have some sugar. I forgot about sugar. We'll use that a little later. All right, so let's go ahead and prep our ingredients. Go ahead and finish that. So your bell pepper, this isn't the best bell pepper in the world. It's starting to go bad, but it's going to be fine for this. We just take the top off, get rid of the seeds. I got rid of most of them, and we're going to set that aside. Throw that away. Then we're going to get this onion, and we're just going to peel the onion. We're not going to chop it up or anything. That will come later. You also need a blender. That'll be the next phase, but we won't get that right now. All right, so we peeled that onion. We're gonna leave that onion there. I already did those jalapenos, but you're gonna take your 4 jalapenos, slice it right down the middle. We're gonna get all these seeds out. I'm gonna come over here to the sink and wash these seeds out. Now, after you've done this to 4 jalapenos, you're probably gonna wanna wash your hands, because if you touch your face, which hopefully most of you have trained yourselves not to do, it will sting your face later on. So we'll definitely wash my hands a little later. All right, we're gonna put that with the other jalapenos. So now we got all our main ingredients all done. Now let's get the beans ready. So we're gonna rinse our beans because these beans often have a little dirt or something on them. I got these from Walmart, so these aren't fancy beans by any means, but they work. I don't know if they're any better or worse than any other beans. I haven't really done a taste test, but we're going to rinse them off. So now we're going to take these beans, and I'm going to get the liner out of my Pressy here. And we're going to pour the beans into the liner. There you go. And now we're going to put this chicken broth in here. Now the chicken broth comes in 4 cups per container. So I'm going to take this knife, put a little hole here so it pours out more smoothly. We're just going to pour this chicken broth in there. Now, generally, the rule of thumb is about 3 to 4 cups per pound of beans, depending on how soupy you want it. we're gonna do 7 cups. I'm gonna do 7 cups because I like it a little bit between. So I'm gonna guesstimate and try to leave a cup in here. Try to get 3 cups out of this container. So we have 7 total. Yeah, that feels right. Okay. So our beans are submerged. Now here's where it gets interesting. We're gonna put everything else in here too. You may be thinking, what the heck is going on here? So what we're gonna do later is I'm gonna take all these ingredients out, the peppers, the onions, the jalapenos, after it gets done cooking initially. And then we're gonna blend all this stuff up into a nice kind of a sauce that is gonna go in with the beans. So that'll gives it its nice flavor. With Cuban black beans, you're not really supposed to have a lot of vegetables visible in there. It's kind of in the sauce of the beans. So we got, I think, everything in there. So let's go ahead and put our spices in there. So we're going to put, for this one, about a teaspoon of cinnamon. Yeah, cinnamon. We're going to put a 1.5 teaspoons of cumin. I like cumin. I think it has a good flavor, especially with beans. So there's 1 teaspoon. Yeah, that's 2 teaspoons. I like that. That's fine. Normally I put about 1.5, but 2 will be fine. Then we're going to put 2 teaspoons of oregano. We're going to have those be heaping teaspoons. All right, so we got all that in there. And let's see, I think we're going to save the sugar for later, save the olive oil for later, but we are going to put in 4 bay leaves that we will remove after the first cooking. So I'll put those in there. All right, we're going to do a gentle stir just to get that stuff in the water, but we don't want to get anything that's not beans too submerged in there because it'll make it kind of hard to get out later. So just as long as we get all these spices and stuff into the water. So now we're going to cook it first. This is the first cook. And we're going to do it for about 30 minutes. Make sure that's locked down. I'm going to click the bean button, but we're going to override this and go to 30 minutes. We're going to hit start. It's going to heat up, and anybody who's used an Instapot knows it takes a little while to heat. Then it'll go through that 30-minute cycle. Then we'll give it about 15 minutes to sit and depressurize, and then we'll put the other stuff in. So go do something for about 45 minutes. All right, well, our timer's gone off, and we're now 18 seconds past the bell here. So we'll let it the remaining steam vent. It shouldn't take too long. All right. All right. You take a look in there, see what we got so far. Looks good. All right, so let's get out. I'm gonna take our bay leaves out. I'm gonna discard those later. Let's see, we're gonna get out all our vegetables. Why don't we pause that later? We cook it one more time. Any sort of jalapeno or stray piece of garlic will either melt in there, or we can take it out when we're eating it. All right. Well, I think we got it there good. So let's. We're going to take close to 1/2 cup of beans here. We already have some beans in there, so we don't get a full cup. And then we're going to take 1/2 cup of juice. The soup here, put that in there. All right. Now we're going to blend this up, and then we're going to put it back in here with the other ingredients. So it's all going to the same place. So if we have to do 2 batches. It's not the end of the world. Let's get a little more juice in there. All right, well, let's go ahead and do this one. Consistency, so let's do this. All right, that's gonna be good. Let's take a look. Yeah. All right, we're gonna pour that in there, and then let's blend up the rest of it. I'll just go ahead and do this. All right, now I got the rest of it in there, and put this up. Then we're gonna put in 2 tablespoons of sugar. Tablespoon, not teaspoon. A little sweet. And then I'm gonna put in a 1/2 cup of oil, olive oil here. Okay. And we're just gonna put in maybe about 5 or 6 cranks of salt here to taste. I like not too much salt, but enough. We got a big batch here, so we'll put some salt in there. All right, and then last thing I'm gonna put in there, because I've put it in everything, is a few red pepper flakes. It's kind of optional. If you want it, the jalapenos, if you don't like spice, that's also optional. All right, so my dog's getting upset, so you can smell the good stuff. It wants a bite, so we're gonna stir this up a little bit. All right, and then we're gonna put the lid back on, and we're gonna cook this for 12 minutes. And this for 12 minutes. Let's see. All right, looks like it's ready to open. Ooh, still bubbling. All right, let's stir it up a little bit. All right, so this is kind of more of a soup. Probably if I wanted it to be more thick beans that I could use for burritos or something, I might have not used as much chicken broth, but this is more of a soupy texture. It'll be fine. It'll be great for these over rice. All right, so normally I like Don Cheadle on a bed of rice, but it'll have to be Cuban black beans today. All right, so get some rice. Put a scoop of rice in there. Then we're gonna take some black beans. This is gonna be good. Put it over there, over here. Maybe one more. There we go. Pull avocado on the side. Mix that in. That'll be good. And there we go. Cuban black beans and rice. Now for the taste test. Get some rice in there too. It's gonna be hot. Delicioso. All right, so there you go. Walker's Cuban black beans and rice out of the hot pot, the Instant Pot. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. You can pair it with your salmon if you made the salmon, or maybe some jerk chicken, that would be good. Want to thank my daughter Madison for videoing for us. Also like to thank Elena McAllister for putting the art together for Cooking with Walker title page. And that's it. And also thank you to all the cross-country runners who have eaten the black beans I've made in the past and helped me evolve this recipe. So that's it. Till next time, have a great day. 'Cause beans